Welcome to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report, hosted by Craig Dawson, Vice President, Soul Pit Media.
Hello and welcome to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report. Today we have a very special guest and someone who I'm very honored to have on the podcast today. Today we have Dr. Kimberly Ellis, Ph.D., Executive Director of the Historic Hill Institute, and also Director of Community Arts and Culture, the Buccini Pollin Group, Lower Hill Redevelopment. Dr. Ellis, welcome to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report.
Thank you so much, Craig. I'm happy to love the Soul Pit.
Well, we definitely appreciate that, Doctor. Now, Doctor, you're probably one of the most multi-talented people that I know. Growing up, what did you envision yourself actually doing?
Well, it's interesting that you asked, because if there was one career choice that I thought I would make when I was younger, it was to be a lawyer. And so it's pretty funny because I held that dream really from, I want to say, definitely since high school and then on through college. But in college, I was interrupted because I had a professor say, "Have you ever considered graduate school?" And I didn't even know what graduate school was. And I just told her no, like, what is that? And then she sent me to a everything to know about graduate school type of a session. And when I went there, my life changed. So my brother ended up becoming the lawyer, and I helped him out. I'm just teasing. He's such a professional. He doesn't even let me know about his cases unless they're like in the news and things like that. But I do go and support, and I just offer him public strategy. But no, I did not become a lawyer, even though people keep saying I missed my calling. But I became a professor. I became an educator, and I think I like the way that I use my career.
That must be the family business then, being a lawyer. So I happen to know a little bit about family business. My dad and uncle worked in law enforcement, so I know how when someone preordains you to be a lawyer, it's hard to change that trend. But you also are one of Pittsburgh's best actresses, among other things. Can you talk to our listeners a little bit about your one-woman show that you actually toured the country with?
Sure. And let me go back, because I thought about your previous question and just to shape what you call, and thankfully, the multi-talented aspect of myself. First of all, I give credit to God, my mother, my family, and my friends. I grew up as a voracious reader. So I want people to understand that. We were constantly taking books out of the library. My books were always late being returned to the library because I would not return a book unless I had read it. And they kept telling us, you can come back and just check it right back out. But I had a deep FOMO, fear of missing out even then. So I oftentimes I wouldn't return the books until they were later. So they forgave. I paid so many fines, but they also forgave so many of our fines. But I think they were just happy that we were voracious readers. But being knowledgeable and having an education and being educated was always important to me and my family. So it's no surprise that I became a doctor of philosophy. And as I said, my brother became a Juris Doctor, a lawyer. So when it comes to performance and acting and dancing, I grew up dancing since I was 7 years old, and my dance teacher was none other than the inestimable Betty Love Gibbs. She treated us like we were young professionals. I was doing hair, makeup, costuming, and had very strict dance routines and practices at the YMCA in downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And she had the Love School of Dance. Her name was Betty Love Gibbs with the Love School of Dance. So I learned all about poise, position, strength, presentation, and power from her. And she knew that we were children, but she just demanded complete and total focus and excellence. She was very strict, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little hard, but when you saw our shows, you were blown away. And I don't even know where she ordered our costumes from, but they were all professional costumes. So Miss Gibbs, she had traveled the world herself. I know that she had danced with Pearl Primus for a period of time. She had been a ballerina. She toured through Europe. And she just came back and gave Pittsburgh all that she had acquired. And I was a student of hers. So I love Betty Love Gibbs. And I always tell people she was my first teacher. So, and then when it comes to acting, you have to have a story to tell. So I also grew up in a home improvement project. My mother did not have a lot of money, neither did my father, and he stayed in New York, and then he died young. So paycheck by paycheck, my mom did her best to raise us and make our house a home, but it took a very long time, and she had big dreams. So looking back, I'm just so proud of her and what she was able to accomplish. But my grandmother lived a few doors up, so we lived between those two houses and at least had some respite from construction projects going on in my house by going to my grandmother's house. So all of that tied into like how I act and how I perform. You have to, I did get I literally got professional training, and then also my life experiences shaped that I had a real important story to tell.
Well, it's truly a testament to not where someone starts, but where they end up. And it's a true testament to how there's that old saying that it takes a village. And between your mother and grandmother, you and your brother's dreams, that they lived through you and made sure that they gave you the training and the knowledge to help you to achieve some dreams that they may have had.
Yes, yes. My grandmother only had a fifth grade education, and she didn't have a backyard. And I remember my mother wanted to extend the ledge and cultivate more vegetables. So we did that. It was very interesting when I think about how they made lemonade out of lemons. I'm just amazed at what they did. So yeah, and then my mother is the only person that actually went to college out of the six of them, and she struggled through college, but she went to New York and she went to Fordham University, and I'm just grateful. And my mom also, she toured the world. She went to Europe before she graduated from college, and she toured Europe by herself. And I'm sure that she was influenced by her white classmates, had more wealth than her, perhaps had a summer home, but she did it. And she is the one who taught me how to travel. And she told me since I was a little girl that I was going to travel throughout Europe like she did on a Eurail pass. And I had no idea what that was. And I just said, okay, mommy, you just listen. But those words came to me when she passed away.
Wow, that's interesting. And back when your mother did that, that was quite an accomplishment. So first of all, to get into Fordham, and second of all, to travel through Europe by yourself as an African American woman during those times. I just marvel at just some of the things that she might have seen and got to do.
Yes, and I will say, and just for proper context, my mom was a fair-skinned woman, so I'm sure that as she was traveling around, she was either like racially ambiguous, or some people thought she was white, or some people realized, oh, she's a woman of color. She had a very interesting look about her. And growing up, we experienced that. I'll tell you really quickly, we went to China together. And as we were traveling around China, so I'm brown skinned. My mom was fair skinned. And like the Chinese women would be pulling her to the side and asking her if she was sure that I was her child.
Wow. that is funny, but I can see where there might be some confusion.
It was so hard, but it's real, right? The presentation is real.
Right. Now, Dr. Ellis, among your multi-talents, you also are the founder of Black Politics Matter. can you please, with everything that's going on, especially, can you talk to our listeners a little bit about this project?
Yes, because Black Politics Matter came about because I'm one of the activists, not only in my community, but on social media. And at the time on Twitter, before Black Lives Matter emerged, I was one of a group of people known as the Trayvon Warriors. That was the unofficial name we were given because we fought really hard for the humanity of Trayvon Martin on Twitter. And we knocked down every stereotype that so many of these racists tried to portray about him. They kept posting pictures of him wearing gold teeth and holding a gun. And we were like, excuse me, this boy is a nerd. He is trying to perpetrate. He's trying to act tough. This is not who he is. Like, let's contextualize the picture. This is somebody trying to show off and trying to, as young people do, right? So certainly he's influenced by the rap videos and so on and so forth in the same way that the American public was influenced by The Sopranos. And like gangsterism and gangster life is always romanticized in America. So why are we surprised that a young person would romanticize that aspect of it? So that was one of the aspects where we really had to like fight for Trayvon Martin's humanity, because these racists were trying to affect the jury pool and make it seem as though Trayvon Martin was this hardcore bad gangster child who deserved to die. And we were not having any part of that.
When you really look at things, Dr. Ellis, sometimes we forget that these are the key word being young. Now, heaven forbid, some of the things that I did when I was 15 or 16 years old. Yes, times have changed, but I will have to say that I learned more after the age of 50 than I did in the first 50 years. So sometimes we want to forget that these are just children, and that if you give them enough time to grow, some of the decisions that are made in our youth, you have to look at it as being youthful mistakes also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people were forgetting that he was in Sanford, Florida, because that's where his father lived, and he was in trouble. He had gotten in trouble in school, and his mom was like, "You're going to be with your father this weekend." But I mean, that's what it was. So he had a loving mother and father. They were no longer together, but they both raised Trayvon. They were both deeply involved in his life. And that was something else that we had to continue to, we just impressed the full humanity of who Trayvon Martin actually was, and exposed many of the lies of George Zimmerman. And we were helpful in it coming out. And also, I didn't even realize how influential we were when they said that in addition to the jury pool, they had about 30 to 40 people sitting in the basement trying to affect the jury and researching anybody who was suggested for the jury pool. They would go and find their social media and try to expose them. So we were in a battle that we knew it was important, but we didn't even know how deep it went. Black Lives Matter emerged immediately because of the George Zimmerman verdict. So we had already been working hard, and when Black Lives Matter hit and when it went viral, we were right there. So a lot of that work we have been behind on social media. And long story short, what I discovered about the founders of the organization Black Lives Matter is that at the time, they were saying they didn't want to be political. I know Patrice was an abolitionist, and they were saying, we're not endorsing any candidates. We're not. And I really needed them to actually endorse some of the candidates in Ferguson, Missouri, and they refused. And it frustrated me because we really needed to get important legislation passed and to have an effect on the political system on our everyday lives. And so long story short, when it came to the Movement for Black Lives Convention, I gave a presentation on Black Politics Matter. And months before then, I had already assembled a small team, which included lawyer Liz Brown, rest in peace to her, and people that were going to focus on the politics of it all. And so that's what launched Black Politics Matter. And I was really disappointed in Black Lives Matter initially, because even at the Movement for Black Lives Convention, they didn't have voter registration. And this was in Ohio. And I was like, we just had the death of Tamir Rice, and there's no voter registration here. So there was a disconnect. And as much as I do love Black Lives Matter, I still support that. I saw that as a gap. And so I had to create Black Politics Matter. And that's how we got started.
We'll be right back with the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report.
It doesn't matter the time nor the place, the conditions or transitions. Doesn't matter who you are or who you're with. Before, now, and always. Through all phases of life, Duquesne Light Company is here for you.
It's a fact. Black Americans are disproportionately impacted by health disparities in our communities. From building better relationships between doctors and patients to breaking down barriers that affect one's health, UPMC is dedicated to healthcare equality for all. With better access to care, preventive screenings, and mental health treatment, we are working to promote the health and well-being of everyone in the communities we serve. Learn more at upmc.com/health disparities.
Port Authority has a new name, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, PRT for short. It's all about doing an even better job of getting people where they want to go every day. It's also about getting people where they want to go in their careers. PRT is looking for some new faces. We're hiring for every position. We offer great pay and benefits and a direct route to a great future. Go to rideprt.org/careers. PRT is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you have a big heart and a spare room? Make a difference in someone's life by becoming a Dom Care provider in Pennsylvania. Open your home and heart for someone who needs a little extra help with daily living. You'll provide personalized support in the comfort of your own home and be compensated for your service. Open your door. Visit aging.pa.gov/domcare or call 717-783-1550.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Yeah, who's this? Don Stogie, it's me, Nick the Nub. Nicky, my boy, what you got for me? Boss, I got the bundle on some bad news about your best customer, Sammy Sticks. What, sleeping with the fishes? Nah, he's still with Wanda, but he's been herfing with the Cigar Fathers. The Godfathers? No, boss. Cigar Fathers, you know. Friendly, knowledgeable staff, live outdoor patio jams, and a wide selection of cigars and cigar accessories. Oh, how do you know so much about this place? Well, boss, because I've been coming back all week. What? Hey, I'm sorry, Don Stogie, but with everything Cigar Fathers is offering, I couldn't refuse.
It's a fact. Black Americans are disproportionately impacted by health disparities in our communities. From building better relationships between doctors and patients to breaking down barriers that affect one's health, UPMC is dedicated to healthcare equality for all. With better access to care, preventive screenings, and mental health treatment, we are working to promote the health and well-being of everyone in the communities we serve. Learn more at upmc.com/health disparities.
The future of transit is now, and we are working to improve your ride. Look for bus tracking technologies and other innovations to keep you better informed. Getting around town has never been so easy. PortAuthority.org.
Do you have a big heart and a spare room? Make a difference in someone's life by becoming a Dom Care provider in Pennsylvania. Open your home and heart for someone who needs a little extra help with daily living. You'll provide personalized support in the comfort of your own home and be compensated for your service. Open your door. Visit aging.pa.gov/domcare or call 717-783-1550.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Do you like entertainment that provides diverse programming? Well, there's a new radio station that provides exactly that. Yes, Pittsburgh's diverse sports and entertainment network provides a mixed radio format and is the place for soulful music, sports talk, and lifestyle programming. Check us out at pghdsен.com. You'll be able to find our radio schedule with all of our exciting entertainment programs. Listen now by going to pghdsen.com.
Did you know that STD rates have increased in Allegheny County?
No, I did not.
Yeah, especially for people under 30.
Maybe I should go get tested.
In Allegheny County, symptomatic syphilis cases increased by 97% and gonorrhea cases by 18% in the past year. And having multiple STDs increases your chances of getting HIV.
Oh, wow. Do you know where I can go get tested?
The Public Health Clinic offers free walk-in STD and HIV screening located at 1908 Wiley Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15219.
It looks like I know what I'm doing tomorrow, getting tested, and I'll make sure to spread the word.
For more information, call 412-578-8081 or visit AlleghenyCounty.us/HIV.
We're back with the Soul Pit Media, Health, and Business Report. Well, there's another aspect of your life, and it's something that I've gone through myself and doing my research for the podcast this evening. I understand that as someone who, my father had dementia, and he also worked in law enforcement, and trying to get his car keys from him after he had scared everybody to death who was brave enough to ride with him was one of the toughest things that I've ever had to go through, because anyone in law enforcement, when you're a police officer, you make your own rules. And I can laugh about it now, God bless my father, but getting the car keys from him and letting him know that he could not drive and do some other things without some type of supervision was one of the hardest things that I've had to do. And Dr. Ellis, I understand that you actually produced a feature film called You're Beautiful to Me, chronicling your journey with dealing with your mother's dementia. Could you please talk to our listeners about that project?
Well, I started the project. I haven't finished it, but that's exactly what it's about. And my brother is actually the person who had to take my mother's car keys, but I experienced her. I'm the one that got the calls, like, I don't know where my car is, or your mother, she left all her car doors open in front of her house. I'm your neighbor, I closed them. I got those scary calls, and it is a scary time. And I'll just say that based upon what I already shared, my mother means the world to me. I was horrified, unprepared, hurt, angry, and profoundly disappointed with the American healthcare system and some of her coworkers and supervisor when it seemed dementia raised its ugly head, because my mother was still working even though she had dementia. And I was really upset that more people did not discover that with her. It was almost like she's worked her whole life, so she was going to keep working. But the people that really were able to monitor her every single day were actually her coworkers. It wasn't even myself and my brother, because we didn't live with my mother. And even if I called her, she sounded as though she still had it all together. So they are the ones that noticed things first. And I remember being called to her office, and it was under like a punitive situation where, like, she couldn't go on vacation unless she cleaned her desk up. And I was like, what does that mean? And so I went to go help her clean up her desk. And what I saw, my mouth dropped, because she had an open cubicle. And it was in complete disarray. I don't even have the words. And I was like furious and so sad and just, and so that was one of the incidents where it just became clear, like, no, there really, really is something wrong. And while I was there, a security guard pulled me to the side and said, your mother will bring lunch. She leaves her lunch and then she'll bring another lunch. And basically, like, she was filling up the fridge with food that she wasn't even eating, and because she thought she had eaten lunch. So it was a terrible downfall. How dementia is, it just sneaks up on you. So I was never able to, like, say goodbye to my mother, like, in her full capacity, because I didn't even know that it's just a thief. It's a thief that comes in the middle of the night. And it'll be 10 years in August, and I'm still grieving as though it was like just a year ago. So I had trouble finishing the film, one, because of my grief, and two, not having enough money. But I'm going to definitely finish that film. And the story definitely needs to be told. And I tell it in pieces, just like here, but the story definitely needs to be told. So I appreciate you mentioning it. And we're on Facebook under You're Beautiful to Me. And the one thing I do as a digital strategist is I want for people to know that they're not alone in their grief and their love for their loved ones and their expression. And so when I read a moving tribute to somebody that has passed away, I usually say, you and your family have my condolences, or you're in my prayers. And then I put a hashtag, YBTM, You're Beautiful to Me. So if you go anywhere on social media, especially on Twitter and Facebook, and you put in the hashtag YBTM, it will not just be my mother's story that will pop up. It will be a number of people who are expressing their love and their dedication and their honor for their loved ones. And I did that because I want people to know you are not alone as you express your love and your grief.
Absolutely. That's a moving tribute. And I also found out about the healthcare system, and it was a learning experience for me, because I thought that in a land that supposedly is, the streets are paved with gold, as they used to say, there's a lot of gaps in the healthcare system when it comes to long-term care and even getting the proper care. So you getting that message out there means something to a lot of people that you may not know have even gone down this road before, just like myself.
Yes. I discovered a lot, and there aren't even enough nurses or nurse assistants to take care of our loved ones. And my mother was in a so-called top-notch nursing home. They had 24-hour care. I was with her roughly 16 hours a day, but they don't have enough people. And the law only requires, you'd be surprised, it's a very small amount of time that is lawfully required for nurses and assistants to take care of your loved ones. That needs to change. That's exactly why you have people running, which is one or two people, they do their work. And then I sat with my mother because my mother started to go mute. And I said, oh my God, she can't even advocate for herself. She can't even ask for a glass of water. So that's how I ended up spending 16 hours a day with her, because I know my mom loved the water. And I just wanted to make sure in the water that she was going to have the care that she needed, because she couldn't advocate for herself. But legally, they're not required to do too much, and that has to change.
Absolutely. Now, Doctor, we always try to end each show on a very positive note. And with you, as I stated, especially after I read your bio and just knowing you as I do, you're one of the most multi-talented people that I've run across. Okay. What advice can you give our younger listeners who may want to make a difference in the community and want to serve the community of Pittsburgh like you yourself are doing?
Yes. Well, the one thing I want to say is I was well loved, even outside of the challenges that I had growing up. So that's really, really important. And love is extremely important. And you can find that in anybody and anywhere, even if you don't have all of your family members, for example. So find that one person. It may be one person in your family. It may be more than one person in your family. It may be a teacher. It may be a counselor. But just understand that love is very important in a young person's life. And then I have to encourage everyone to read. Social media is great. You already know I'm a social media activist in many ways, but at the same time, I'm a voracious reader. So I'm not just on social media posting and doing hashtags and so on and so forth. I read a lot on social media because if it were not for social media, I would have bags and bags full of newspapers and books, and I can't be carrying all that stuff around. So I read a lot on social media and on my phone and stuff like that. So reading is very important. Also, do something artistic and inspirational. You have to. It doesn't matter if you're a painter, a poet, a singer, a dancer. Do something artistic. We are all artists in our own way. Also, I keep a journal. What do you dream about? Write down your thoughts. Also, have discernment on social media. You cannot show everything on social media. Social media never dies. Video can stay with you. Do not do something that you will regret later. All of this, like hyper transparency, it is inappropriate. Do not do it. You can make some videos and have some fun and things like that, but protect your peace and protect your reputation and be brave and move forward and live your ancestors' wildest dreams. You have to be brave. People have died for us. People have suffered for us. And we have to push the needle forward in honor of our ancestors because they're here, they're with you at all times, and they want to see you thrive. So that's my advice to you young people, and know that if nobody else, Dr. Goddess loves you, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. And one of my honors, Craig, is I was recently invited to be the keynote commencement speaker for the Chi Arts, the Chicago School of the Arts. And it was a life-changing experience. After I was done, everybody gave me a standing ovation. I was just speaking from the heart, and they told me that I was the best commencement speaker they ever had. And honestly, wow. I just think I have a story to tell. That's all. And I'm not that special. I just had a story. I have a story to tell, and I tell it. So.
Well, you're also very humble, because one thing that I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about is that you and your brother Paul are actually doing some great things in the city through, speaking of bloodline, the August Wilson House. And could you just, as a segue, just take a moment and let our listeners know how they can help with the great job that you're doing, promoting and with your special events through the August Wilson House?
The August Wilson House is actually an historic preservation project. August Wilson and my brother worked to secure the property because it took a while. That building had been one of our neighborhood candy stores. It just basically, like, it kept opening and closing. Like, nobody was ever able to, like, really, really survive in that building. And so at one point, it just sat vacant. I am the historic preservationist for the Historic Hill. We set up a National Historic Register because it wasn't initially on the registry. So I want to thank Sam Black at the Heinz History Center for doing that. I was on the committee. My mother was on the committee. And we helped to write the sign that stood in front of the August Wilson House. Now, keep in mind, the August Wilson House was on the demolition list when we did this, okay? But once we did it, people started to come from all over the world just to stand in front of the house where August Wilson grew up. And we had to break their hearts and remind them that, listen, August Wilson grew up in the back of the house, and initially in a 2-room apartment. And then they were able to expand it when the neighbor downstairs moved out and they got 2 more rooms. So my family, we're talking about a poor Black family growing up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That is who the Wilsons were. That's the Ellises moved up to a working poor family, but poverty nonetheless. So we started a full campaign. My brother and I gave Denzel Washington the tour of the house and of the Hill District community, because I cannot emphasize that enough. I was already giving tours of the Hill District. I was well prepared. So when Denzel came and he said, well, show me around the neighborhood, I said, click, put my tour hat on. He drove and I said, stop here. Okay, drive up here, stop here. And he did everything. He wanted to know about the neighborhood. And we told him, we need this house to be renovated because we want it to be the economic anchor of the community. Every other community had an anchor and we didn't have one yet. And long story short, Denzel Washington, who had committed to August Wilson to do the films, he had never committed to do anything with regard to the house. He didn't even know about the house. So he then committed himself to raising money for the house. And we are very grateful. It wasn't just Denzel Washington that was the fundraiser. We worked hard locally as well. And I want to give a shout out to the board, all those initial people that served. This was not just a project of my brother and myself. It could not have been. My mother is the one that found the first Macaulay grant. And then she passed away. My mother never got a chance to see the August Wilson House being done. But long story short, you had people, we had a great team, and we completely renovated and opened the August Wilson House, which you can find at 1727 Bedford Avenue and online at augustwilsonhouse.com.
Well, I would have really been remiss if I didn't take my hat off to you and your family and the people that work with you to really garner one of the true success stories in this city, and something that future generations will be able to visit and to study from, and to leave a lasting legacy for the city to be proud of. My background is sales, so if I would have left that out, it would have completed everything. And I want to just thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us today. And Soul Pit Media is always there for you, as to be a willing partner in whatever endeavor that you may have within the city of Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me, Craig. And listen, next time, let's talk all about the Lower Hill redevelopment. It's a great story to tell, very challenging, and I look forward to sharing that story next.
Well, you always have a partner here with Soul Pit Media. So, as they say, let's do it. And thank you once again so much for being on the show this evening.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report.
It doesn't matter the time nor the place, the conditions or transitions. Doesn't matter who you are or who you're with. Before, now, and always. Through all phases of life, Duquesne Light Company is here for you.
It's a fact. Black Americans are disproportionately impacted by health disparities in our communities. From building better relationships between doctors and patients to breaking down barriers that affect one's health, UPMC is dedicated to healthcare equality for all. With better access to care, preventive screenings, and mental health treatment, we are working to promote the health and well-being of everyone in the communities we serve. Learn more at upmc.com/health disparities.
Port Authority has a new name, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, PRT for short. It's all about doing an even better job of getting people where they want to go every day. It's also about getting people where they want to go in their careers. PRT is looking for some new faces. We're hiring for every position. We offer great pay and benefits and a direct route to a great future. Go to rideprt.org/careers. PRT is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you have a big heart and a spare room? Make a difference in someone's life by becoming a Dom Care provider in Pennsylvania. Open your home and heart for someone who needs a little extra help with daily living. You'll provide personalized support in the comfort of your own home and be compensated for your service. Open your door. Visit aging.pa.gov/domcare or call 717-783-1550.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Yeah, who's this? Don Stogie, it's me, Nick the Nub. Nicky, my boy, what you got for me? Boss, I got the bundle on some bad news about your best customer, Sammy Sticks. What, sleeping with the fishes? Nah, he's still with Wanda, but he's been herfing with the Cigar Fathers. The Godfathers? No, boss. Cigar Fathers, you know. Friendly, knowledgeable staff, live outdoor patio jams, and a wide selection of cigars and cigar accessories. Oh, how do you know so much about this place? Well, boss, because I've been coming back all week. What? Hey, I'm sorry, Don Stogie, but with everything Cigar Fathers is offering, I couldn't refuse.
It's a fact. Black Americans are disproportionately impacted by health disparities in our communities. From building better relationships between doctors and patients to breaking down barriers that affect one's health, UPMC is dedicated to healthcare equality for all. With better access to care, preventive screenings, and mental health treatment, we are working to promote the health and well-being of everyone in the communities we serve. Learn more at upmc.com/health disparities.
The future of transit is now, and we are working to improve your ride. Look for bus tracking technologies and other innovations to keep you better informed. Getting around town has never been so easy. PortAuthority.org.
Do you have a big heart and a spare room? Make a difference in someone's life by becoming a dom care provider in Pennsylvania. Open your home and heart for someone who needs a little extra help with daily living. You'll provide personalized support in the comfort of your own home and be compensated for your service. Open your door. Visit aging.pa.gov/domcare or call 717-783-1550.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Do you like entertainment that provides diverse programming? Well, there's a new radio station that provides exactly that. Yes, Pittsburgh's diverse sports and entertainment network provides a mixed radio format and is the place for soulful music, sports talk, and lifestyle programming. Check us out at pghdsен.com. You'll be able to find our radio schedule with all of our exciting entertainment programs. Listen now by going to pghdsen.com.
Did you know that STD rates have increased in Allegheny County?
No, I did not.
Yeah, especially for people under 30.
Maybe I should go get tested.
In Allegheny County, symptomatic syphilis cases increased by 97% and gonorrhea cases by 18% in the past year. And having multiple STDs increases your chances of getting HIV.
Oh, wow. Do you know where I can go get tested?
The Public Health Clinic offers free walk-in STD and HIV screening located at 1908 Wiley Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15219.
It looks like I know what I'm doing tomorrow, getting tested, and I'll make sure to spread the word.
For more information, call 412-578-8081 or visit AlleghenyCounty.us/HIV.
We're back with the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report.
Hi, this is Debbie Norrell, and welcome to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report Community Calendar. The Center for Urban Breastfeeding presents the second annual Breast Friend Brunch on August 24th at Emerald City in downtown Pittsburgh. Enjoy good food, speakers, and celebration. Registration is now open via healthystartpittsburgh.org. Here are 3 questions that every retirement saver should be asking. Are you saving enough? It's more than investments. Having someone help you with a budget and a savings plan is critical. Have you considered and talked about Social Security? Both the amount that may be available to you and the timing of taking Social Security are important considerations. Do you have a sound investment plan? It's important to invest with a purpose and stick to it. First Commonwealth advisors are there to help because what you do with your retirement savings and who you choose to help manage it matters. Call 855-275-4322 for more information. Are you a survivor of gun violence or do you know someone who is? The Phases of Resilience workshop will have 3 sessions, August 3rd and 4th, September 14th and 15th, and October 26th and 27th for people 18 years of age and older. This is going to be a transformative 2-day workshop at the August Wilson African American Cultural Center, where you'll create a powerful art piece to express your emotions, honoring your loved one, and celebrating your triumphs. Workshop highlights include guided art sessions, a panel discussion, and a special closing ceremony, and meals will be provided. In order to register, log into awAACC.org, facilitated by Tia Baker and Dr. Lois Dabney Smith. Pittsburgh's Regional Transit's new Ready to Ride mobile ticketing app offers a convenient way to purchase transit passes and access other important information so that you will be ready to ride. Scan the QR code or call 412-442-2000 for more information. Don't forget to visit thesoulpit.com for the latest in theater, musical entertainment, job opportunities, and health information. That's thesoulpit.com. Thank you for listening to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report, brought to you by Pittsburgh Regional Transit. Looking for a great job with benefits? Check out their website, rideprt.org/careers. Thank you for tuning in to the Soul Pit Media Health and Business Report, hosted by Craig Dawson, Vice President, Soul Pit Media. Thank you, Pittsburgh, for your continued support.